Imagine holding on to one loss for almost 3 years, not because it broke you, but because it became the exact number you knew one day you would finally settle. Every early morning on the practice court, every long flight to another tournament, every small improvement nobody outside your team even noticed. All of it building toward one single afternoon you didn't know was coming until it finally did. Inside the William H.G. Fitzgerald Tennis Center in Washington, something felt different before a single ball was even struck. The stands were packed. Filipino flags moved through the crowd like waves, and her name was already being chanted before the match had even started. These fans weren't there for a routine first-round win. They were there because, somewhere deep down, they believed they were about to witness history repeat itself, only this time, with a different ending. And by the time the last point landed, the tennis world had a completely new story to tell. Because this wasn't just another win, it was payback. It was proof. And it may have been the clearest signal yet that Alex Eala isn't chasing the top of the sport anymore. She's already living there. But to understand why this one match meant so much, we need to go back nearly 3 years. September 2023, the Asian Games in Hangzhou. Alex Eala was just 18, barely known outside tennis circles. And standing across the net from her was China's Zheng Qinwen, the tournament's top seed, playing in front of a home crowd that expected nothing less than an easy win. On paper, it wasn't close. On the court, it was a completely different story. Instead of freezing under the pressure of the moment, the young Filipina fought like she had nothing to lose. She chased down balls that looked unreachable. She refused to let long rallies break her. She kept absorbing everything Zheng threw at her and kept coming back for more. What should have been a short, forgettable match turned into a battle that stretched past 3 hours. She saved match points. She forced a third set. She pushed one of the best players in the world to her absolute limit. In the end, the scoreboard sided with Zheng, but the score never told the real story. Eala left that court without a medal, but she carried something home that mattered more. Belief. She now knew for certain that she belonged on that same court, against that same level of opponent. And remarkably, she was the only player at that entire tournament to take a set off Zheng, who would go on to win Olympic gold. People stopped talking about her like a promising junior. They started talking about her like a future star. But talent alone doesn't build a career. What came next demanded patience and years of quiet, unglamorous work. Eala kept training, kept improving her physical game, kept sharpening the mental toughness that separates good players from great ones. Every tough loss became fuel. Every tournament became another lesson banked for later. Slowly, everything started to shift. Her ranking climbed, her confidence grew. And the wins started coming against players who, a year earlier, would have been completely out of reach. Grand Slam champions fell to her. Former top-ranked stars fell to her. By the time the 2026 season arrived, nobody was calling Alex Eala promising anymore. She was already the story. A stunning grass court run capped by a historic Wimbledon campaign changed the entire conversation around her. The question wasn't whether she belonged among the elite anymore. It was simple. How high could she actually go? Then tennis did what tennis always does. It brought an unfinished story right back to the surface. As the North American hardcourt season began, the draw produced a first-round matchup nobody saw coming. Zheng Qinwen, the same opponent who ended her Olympic dream in Hangzhou. The same 3-hour battle that had never really felt finished. Only this time, Alex Eala wasn't the underdog hoping to surprise anyone. She was walking in as a rising, confident competitor who now genuinely believed she could beat anybody on tour. And Zheng had changed too. Injuries had slowed her down since her Olympic gold, but nobody forgets how to win at that level. A lower ranking didn't make her any less dangerous. This wasn't just a rematch. It was a collision between two completely different versions of the same two athletes who once gave the sport an unforgettable battle. Here's where the mid-story turning point happened, and it happened fast. From the very first rally, both players understood exactly what this match meant. Every point carried weight. Every service game felt tense. The Filipino crowd roared after nearly everything Eala won, turning a first-round match into something that felt like a final. Zheng came out firing big serves, aggressive baseline attacks, trying to end points before Eala could settle in. But Eala never rushed. She absorbed the pace. She defended with patience most players her age simply don't have. And then, reading a weak second serve perfectly, she attacked it and earned the first break of the match. The stadium exploded. Zheng answered immediately, the way champions do, breaking straight back to level things out. Neither woman was willing to give an inch. This is when the match stopped being about talent and became a test of nerve. Eala's movement became the deciding factor. She covered every corner of the court, forcing extra shots, refusing cheap errors. Late in the first set, she played her cleanest tennis of the day, one perfectly placed backhand down the line, brought the entire crowd to its feet. She broke again. She served out the set. One set down, one step closer. But Qinwen didn't fold. The second set opened with her dictating everything: heavier forehands, cleaner serving, relentless pressure. For the first time all match, Eala was the one chasing the score. The crowd went quiet. Was this going to end just like Hangzhou? This is exactly where the old version of Alex Eala might have cracked. She might have panicked, rushed shots, let frustration take over. This version didn't. She slowed her breathing. She trusted every hard match from the past year that had built her for this exact moment. One break wasn't the whole match. One mistake wasn't the whole story. Point by point, she clawed her way back, not with a flashy winner, but with discipline. A deep return here, a smart defensive shot there. And slowly, the pressure shifted back onto Zheng. She broke back. The match was level again. And now, only one question remained. Who would find another gear when it mattered most? The closing stretch was pure tension. Every rally stretched longer. Every point felt heavier. With the match hanging in the balance, Eala attacked a second serve, forced an error, and earned a break point. The whole stadium rose. Another deep return. Another error from Zheng. The break was hers. Now, she just had to close it out, and closing against a champion is never simple. Zheng fought to the very end, saving what she could, refusing to go quietly. But there was no panic in Eala, no hesitation, just one serve, one return, one point at a time, until a perfectly placed forehand landed just out of Zheng's reach. Match over. For a second, the whole stadium went silent. Then, it erupted. Filipino flags waved through every section as Eala threw her arms up. This wasn't just a first-round win. It was the ending to a story that had started years earlier. In a losing effort nobody had forgotten. This win mattered beyond the shoreline too. It answered a question that had been building since Wimbledon. Was that breakthrough a one-off, or the start of something bigger? Washington gave the answer. Beating an Olympic champion in her very first match after Wimbledon proved her rise wasn't a lucky streak. It was built on consistency, on belief, on years most people never saw. And with fewer ranking points to defend than most of her rivals through the hard-court swing, every win from here carries even more weight, every match pushing her closer to a place among the very best in the world. Through it all, Eala has never chased the outside noise. Her approach has stayed the same, one match at a time. Trust the process, stay in the work. That mindset carried a young girl from the Philippines to one of the fastest rising names in tennis. 3 years ago, she left Hangzhou carrying disappointment. In Washington, she walked away carrying something far bigger: validation, redemption, and proof that her biggest moments might still be ahead. Because sometimes, the win that matters most isn't the one that changes a shoreline. It's the one that changes how the world sees you. And after Washington, the tennis world will never see Alex Eala the same way again.